Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. And today, honestly, is going to be a bit of a different video. I don't do this very often, and I genuinely mean it where I say, turn this video off if you're going to like criticize things I'm going to say, because I'm going to just talk about potential situations where XRP and the crypto market itself could go higher than I was expecting, and I mean significantly higher. I share my thoughts with you guys both in my newsletter that I've written just this morning, and I want you to go and check that out. It's out tomorrow, but also through YouTube and X. That's what my platforms are for. They're for me to thought process and share my thoughts. And this is a thought that isn't, look, I'm not fully behind this thought. It's not my base case, but it's something I'm questioning a lot more recently. And the question is, are we completely underestimating this cycle based on our emotional... I've said things along this line before, but not like quite as much as this, but based on our emotional... what's the word I use? Like, how we feel on the previous cycle. Are we underestimating how high we could go based on like recency bias? That's what I normally say. Recency bias of emotion in the last cycle. So like, the thing I want to say is like, if we look at crypto, look at Bitcoin, are we here? Are we here? Are we still here? Or here? And this is what we've got to come. Like, is that possible? I'm going to look at the BLX, and I'm going to get into this now. I'm going to reference a few things, but like, are we in this area still? Have we not left this area here? Are we here, coming back and then going? Is this the Japanese yen unwind? Is this where we are now? And then is this what's going to come next? Are we here? With this coming next? That's the question that I am discussing now. Okay, that's where I'm not saying that we are. I'm just saying, are we, or are we here? Like this sort of area. This is March 2017. Taking us down. I'm gonna remove all my drawings off this just for the sake of this video. I have to redraw them. Are we like here? We've broken previous all-time high. We've come back below it, and now we're sitting below it. What would the run-up be from the lows if we were there? 20x. Are we here? From the lows-ish. 5x. 5.7x. 20x from here. If this is the low. Well, 5x, 5.7x would take us to $500,000 Bitcoin. 20x. 1.6 million. Now, it seems ridiculous to have that conversation because of what the size of the market cap would be, like $20 trillion, $26 trillion for Bitcoin. This is the discussion that we're going to have in this video. Raoul Pal, a guy, discussed the other day just a few things, and again, I've talked about some of this in my newsletter as well, so I do recommend going to read that. But one of the things he discussed is the logarithmic trend of Bitcoin, and basically says the upper end of the trend is $805,000, which, just using the chart, he's not explaining that it could, he's just showing that it's possible for us to head towards those levels, $412,000 to $805,000. Which, just looking at historically at the Bitcoin chart, look, we came down near the standard deviations oversold, like what's that, 2, before in 2015. We didn't get as low in 2020, we didn't make as high a high. Are we going to potentially visit the highs again? I don't know. So that's one of the things to take into consideration. And the other one was Arthur Hayes' recent Kiss of Death article. Highly recommend reading both, like this article as well. He discusses what could happen if we have some more stimulus similar to the C19 era, or like different percentages of that, let's say 80% of it. He thinks that the US could reflate Bitcoin to $1 million or higher. So when I first read Arthur Hayes' article, I was like, yeah, it's just Hayes off on one again. Like, not that I'm disrespecting him at all. I think he's fantastic. I love his thought processes. But I take what he says with a pinch of salt because he does it for a reaction, but he's obviously very smart and also backs things up. But he's done two things recently. The first one was saying they were going to revalue gold, and at the time, no one said anything about that I'd seen. He was the first person to float that idea, and now I'm seeing that idea floated a lot. And yeah, he probably creates some of the echoes in the echo chamber, but it's now being discussed by key macro researchers like Cross Border Capital's Michael Howe. Seen a few other people talk about it as well. And now he's floating $1 million Bitcoin possibility, and at the same time, Raoul Pal's floating the potential of 800,000 ish using just a logarithmic regression channel. So that's my first thought. Second thought is the narrative behind what could get us there. Well, this would be something that would be potentially setting us up for that narrative. A sovereign wealth fund investing $2 billion into an exchange like Binance, Ripple getting a full payments license in Dubai's it's in DIFC. That's like the utility aspect is something that's going to bring a lot of capital into the space, obviously, and tokenization of real world assets. The largest economy in the world creating a digital asset stockpile and Bitcoin strategic reserve, with more and more talk of more crazy things about that happening than ever before. With fear and greed index of retail being at 18, which is like pretty much as low as we've been, whilst prices back testing previous all-time highs, shaking people out of the market. And then this morning, seeing Russia potentially trading some oil in crypto, as published by Reuters. So when I said more and more crazy, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve during a closed-door meeting with crypto leaders this week, White House official said Trump wants to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. One attendee told me that Bo Hines, exec directive of Trump's crypto working group, said how much Bitcoin should the government add to the strategic reserve was akin to how many dollars they'd want. So a lot, essentially. So yeah, the other thing I was looking at was XRP dominance, and we're going to try and link all this together. But the question I've been asking myself, are my price targets too low? And I know I do this, and I get to this stage every cycle where you question whether your take profit targets are too low. As discussed with myself and Credible Crypto on my podcast, I'll go and have a look at that. Let me just get X back open. Myself and Credible Crypto, this pinned tweet here, if I can get it to load. We have this pinned tweet where we discuss where XRP price could go, and let me give you a hint, it's $20 to $30. And I've seen that as a possibility in my mind, but a low probability. Maybe for emotional bias, because obviously I'm a big XRP holder. So maybe it's an emotional bias in the opposite way to normal positive bias. Maybe it's negative bias, thinking, oh, it's not going to do that because I've got this much of it or whatever. But I'm seriously considering it. I'm seriously considering that we go to $20 to $30. I've always said that I think it's possible. It's not been my base case, but now I'm seriously considering it. My base case has always been, you can look through my videos, around $13. Anywhere between 8 and 15. I know that's a big range, but that's been my base case, and now I'm considering 20 to 30. Because of the reasons we've just talked about, I think it's highly possible. But yeah, let's get into a bit of TA. I've talked about this in my newsletter as well. But on the weekly time frame for XRP, we're back testing previous range highs. Potentially about to cross on our stochastic RSI, cross bullish again. The last time we crossed bullish on our stochastic RSI on the weekly was here, 49 to 50 cent, and the time before that was even here. So the time before that was the absolute low, and then the secondary time was the time before when we started to rip. Let's get that back down here. The weekly RSI is holding above 50, potentially looking to make that push up again. Realistically, we could be here. RSI holding above 50, as I said. So the more I look at it, the more I think, is it obvious that we do go higher? Like, is emotional bias holding me down? I don't know. Bitcoin, similarly to XRP, stochastic RSI is in the absolute mud. Trying to cross bullish, it probably will if we get the bullish cross and we get, the green weekly close today. The standard RSI has actually broken below the 50, and we did have bearish divergence on the weekly, but we've had that pullback now. Is this still like bear market price action, although we are at all-time highs? Like, not bear market, I just mean non-expansionary price action. We haven't had the parabolic stage yet. Are we going to see something like this? Something like this, which we have yet to have seen for Bitcoin this cycle. That's the question I'm really pondering. If we take that thought process and look at total market cap of crypto, it's highly likely that we move towards the 10 to 12 trillion dollar market cap this cycle. Based on previous cycles, Fibonacci extensions, like, that's been my price range, and that's the easy way where XRP gets to your $10+ But if we take into consideration that we could go higher and look at XRP dominance, this is where things, to me, start to get a little bit wild. I don't really care what anyone else says. I give my own opinion. And I think XRP dominance looks really flipping strong. We've got Bitcoin dominance moving up at the minute. I'm going to get back to XRP dominance. I'm going to try and set the scene for you. We've got Bitcoin dominance really holding at its highs and moving up at the highest level that it's been for a long time. At 61%. So the highest level really, like, while it's climbing since May 2019. And it climbed a little further, and then we had the breakdown towards the end of the year in 2021. And that's when we had the alt season, or not as good an alt season. The alt season before that, in the 2017 cycle, was much more aggressive. XRP dominance has actually managed to climb at the same time as Bitcoin dominance, which is the first time that I can remember this happening, especially for a prolonged period of time. Maybe we have some extra strength behind us because we pretty much missed out on the last bull run. Another thing that makes me think we could potentially go higher than we did previously, because, for example, and look, please don't make this your base case, because I know a lot of people are going to get at me in the comments for this, but I still need to be able to discuss what I want to discuss. Base case, like last cycle, had we not been stunted, would we have come out towards the targets that I've got between $12 and $14? Would we have made that last cycle? And then say we had, where would this cycle be? Let's say the $12 to $14 range would be the top. So let's just say we only made it to $12.80, and the pullback brought us down to, like, I don't know, say 30 cents. Let's not even say 30 cents. Let's say the pullback just brought us down to where we are now, 172. Where would this bring us out to? $49, $50. Top target for myself and Cred in that video was like $30 to $40-ish, so $50 for an overextension is possible, especially if we talked about Bitcoin going towards that $1 million price target. As I said, the other factor I'm watching is XRP dominance. If Bitcoin goes to $1 million and XRP manages to steal 30% of the market share, and let's have a look what that could mean in terms of price action. And as I said, like, I don't like to make these videos because people are going to take it the wrong way. But, like, from here, it's like, let's say a 12x in market cap, putting us at, what, 12 times 16? So 16 trillion at 3. It would be about $20 trillion market. And XRP would have about, if it all lined up perfectly, 30% of that, putting XRP at like 3 trillion, which would be like 30x from here, $60. So yeah, pretty much that's my argument right there, all of that together or discussion. I think that if we look at Bitcoin at XRP ETH on the weekly time frame, this looks like vertical accumulation, while the stochastic RSI has come all the way down and bounced off the oversold area, and XRP looks like it's about to absolutely rip it against ETH once more, and as I said, set a higher high against ETH for this cycle. It even looks bullish against Bitcoin, creating this pattern that I've shown you so many times on my channel, as well as, again, bouncing in the oversold area, like knocking on the resistance to be able to push up higher against Bitcoin. Is the ultimate pain trade for XRP to go much like 5 times higher or 4 times higher than my take profit my take profit targets. And I'm going to leave the video here. Pardon me. This is what I've been pondering and discussing with my friends like the last few days. I don't have the answer for you. It's not, again, this isn't me telling you what's happening, what's not happening. It's just me discussing something with you that I think would be probably one of the hardest things for me to trade, or the hardest times that I've ever experienced if this happened. Going down's easy. Like, you can say, oh, it's going to be much easier if it's up. I can tell you now, going down, like from experience, going down's flipping easy. You're down, all you've got to do is get over the emotion and the negativity and just buy with your eyes closed, whatever the price essentially. The more red you get, the more you buy if you have money, and then if you use her and try and earn more money and then buy more, easy. When you're going up, let's say you're at 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, $15 XRP, and you've got significant amount of wealth compared to what you've got now, and you're thinking of selling, you're selling bits, and the price continues to go higher, you're thinking, should I have sold? Should I hold? Will it go further? Shall I not sell? Is it going to pull back? And it starts to pull back, and you're like, shit, should I have sold more? And start selling on the little pullbacks. That's flipping hard. So imagine that all the way up to like 20 or 30 or $50. It's life-changing capital, probably for most people watching this video. And that's why I'm saying it's not my base case, and keep your take profit targets in check and play the game the way that we've always played it, and keep your thought processes there. But I also want to open your eyes to that potential, because I genuinely think it's possible. And as I said, like, this happens in these times of cycles. I've always thought it was going to go higher than it had in previous cycles as well, not just XRP, but other cryptos. It's where you get yourself to mentally. But it's definitely something to consider, because last cycle was a stunted cycle in my opinion, and we didn't get anywhere near as high, especially for XRP, as we should have done. So it is the pain trade much higher this cycle, especially as everyone right now is fearful and thinks the end's in and the end's nigh, and crypto's never going to do anything, whilst the rest of the world, in terms of legacy financial institutions, are getting balls deep in crypto. We're all shitting ourselves. I'm going to leave that with you. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please do subscribe, like, drop me a comment, share it with a friend. I'm trying to get up to those 10,000 subscribers. I'm like 8,500 now-ish. Thank you to everyone who tunes in. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace up, A-Town Down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.